just from it was same. I didn't feel any difficulty doing that. It was same
Okay.
like you showed us.
Great, Prabhuji, great. Great. Hare Krishna. Thank you. You're sharing your experience. We can go to the Mayank Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Mayank Prabhuji. You can unmute yourself.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Am I audible?
Yes, yes, please.
Yes, Prabhuji. The registration process was smooth and I didn't face any difficulty.
Great. Thank you for sharing your experience. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Okay.
Yes, sure.
Yeah, thank you. Mataji, I think well, these are quite easy processes and everybody able to follow. And whenever there will be an issue, we'll be able to help.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Prabhu. So yesterday's class, we discussed about second chapter, right? Today, let's go to the third chapter. Before, let's seek blessings from our Guru. Om Ajnana-timirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna-pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namini. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, everybody. So yesterday we did second chapter. We are not this body, we are soul, right? So in the first chapter, what did Arjuna give? 5 reasons for not to fight. Anyone? You can see my screens, right? Co-hosts?
Yes,
Yes,
Mataji.
Mataji.
Thank you. Yeah, so these were the reasons Arjuna in the first chapter gave. Compassion, no enjoyment, fear of sinful activities, destruction of the family, and indecision. These 5, right? So yesterday, Krishna answered those 5 with counteracting these 5 answers. So for compassion, Krishna told, we are not this body. For enjoyment, he told, compassion, he told, you're not this body, your soul, spirit soul, right? So next, for no enjoyment, he told heaven or kingdom. One, if you win, you will get the kingdom on earth. If you lose, if you get killed in the battlefield, you will get heaven. Okay. Next, fear of sinful activities. So he says, there is no sin in devotional activities. Like Hanuman, we discussed, right? Hanuman, he burnt Lanka. Why? To please Ram, because he was the eternal servant of the Ram, Sri Ram, right? There is no sin for him. Then why do you think, Arjuna, you will incur sin? So next, destruction of the family. He says destruction of the family. So Krishna says, be a role model to prevent Varna Shankara. If you are telling you will run away from the battlefield and go to the forest and sit, Arjuna, then you will be the role model for the generations. So better you become a great role model and not run away from the battlefield. You can prevent Varna Shankaras, means unwanted children or unwanted generations. Next is indecision. I cannot decide, he says, right? So what Krishna tell? Serve the Lord with firm determination. Whatever you are doing, serve as do something for the Lord with firm determination. On full faith in the Lord, you do something that will end your indecision, because whatever you are doing is for the Lord. So in next, he says, Titadir Muni, after listening to these answers, Arjuna asks, what are the qualities of such a person who have all these qualities? So Krishna says, Stitadir Muni is a person in pure transcendental consciousness. He is not attached to any sense desires. Okay. Yesterday we discussed this. So can anyone recall? There were the 3 phases of self God realization, right? I said. So anyone can recall what are those? Yes, Harsh Prabhu, and there are Mayank Prabhu. Sorry, yeah, unmute Harsh Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Yesterday you told us about the 3 realization of God. The first one of them was Brahma realization of the effulgence of the God, and the second one was the Paramatma realization, in which you told us that God resides in everyone's heart. And third one is the Bhagavan realization, which is the ultimate realization, realizing Krishna as the God.
Very good. Very good. Thank you. And Mayank Prabhu, you were also saying the same?
Yes, Mataji.
Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Okay, in the chat box also I got answer. First is Brahman realization, which is what is Brahman? The light effulgence coming from the body of the Lord. Second is Paramatma realization, who is residing in everybody's heart beside a spirit soul. And third is Bhagavan, the ultimate realization of the Godhead. Okay, so very good. You have taken notes, I guess. Very nice. So today, let's go to the third. This is Karma Yoga, yoga of action. So today we will discuss about how the Karma Yoga is discussed in this chapter. So in the last chapter, we know that Krishna told 5 kinds of things. He told first is work. You are the spirit soul, right? To Arjuna, he told you are the spirit soul, Arjuna. All of us are spirit souls, and he told this is the knowledge. He gave so much knowledge, like Nainam Chindanti Shastrani, Nainam Dahati Pavaka, and all these things. He told that properties of the soul, you have to meditate on the soul, always meditates on the Lord, and all these things he told. And he also told that in the next, there is no sin in acting in devotional service. You have to work for the Lord. Now, Arjuna is confused. He says to Krishna, Krishna, you gave me 5 reasons not to fight, and you gave me 5 reasons to fight, right? Now I'm not able to understand. What are you telling? Like, you gave me 5 reasons to fight, but I'm unable to understand. You tell me any one. Now don't tell me 5 reasons, this or that, you can do this. Don't give me options. Just tell me what I have to do. I have to work in renunciation or work for you. I have to take renounce from this whole world or work for you. Here, sit on, meditate on the Lord, because he said we are the spirit souls and we are the part and parcels of the Lord. So we have to sit and meditate on the Lord, or we have to work for the Lord. Now you tell me, Krishna, what is best for me? Ekam Vada. Like, tell me any one reason. Don't tell me 5, Krishna. I'm not able to understand you. So, Karmendriyani samyamya ya aste manasa smaran indriyartan vimudhatma mithyacharasa uchyate. One who restrains the senses and the organs of the action, but whose mind dwells in the sense objects, certainly deludes himself in certain, called as pretender. Okay. Here I can give an example from a Shastra that this is Bharat Maharaj, son of Rishabhadev. So the whole India, there is a most confusion, right, on whose name the Bharat has come. So this Bharat Maharaj, from him the Bharat Varsh, the name came to India. Okay, so he was a great king who ruled all over the India. And as soon as he was ruling India, and he thought, I should go to the forest and this is more like sense gratification. I have ruled enough for now. and he gave his whole kingdom to his son, and he went to the forest to do yajna and to concentrate, meditate on the Lord and do yajnas for the Lord. And when he came to forest and he was doing yajnas to the Lord, to please the Lord, he has a small kutira, hermitage here. He used to live there. And one day he saw a tiger chasing a she deer. Okay, and the she deer was jumping upon a stream of river or a river, and suddenly she saw a tiger chasing her, and she was pregnant. The she deer was pregnant, and when she crossed the river, no, with fear of fear of tiger, the premature delivery happened, and the baby deer was lying in the river, and the female deer who had given the birth to that baby deer had died. And all this, Bharat Maharaj saw that, and he felt of compassion. He went and took that baby deer and made that baby deer to eat some grass, fruits, and all these things. He was taking care of it. While taking care of it day by day, he got attached to that deer. Okay, and now you can see here, the deer is grown up. Yes, compassion is good, but so much attachment, you know, right? Deer cannot stay in one place. It just go here and there. And he used to always try to catch that deer and make him sit beside him. But the deer does not even look at him. But he was so much attached to that deer. And here you can see, right? He's not concentrating. Why did he come to the forest, leaving his wife and children when he had to get attached with this deer? He was a great personality. And just for our example, that we should not get attached to that material world. Now he's seeing the deer, but he is not concentrating on the yajna which he had come to forest to make, do the yajnas, right? Even in our life, we have something goal in our life we want to achieve, but in the way of to achieve that goal, we get distracted from so many things, right? In this way, what is the ultimate achievement? Achievement is to realize God, realize Krishna. And he had come here to realize Krishna, but he got attached to the deer. And in the 8th chapter, we can see that how Krishna says, whatever at the time of death, whatever you think you will become in next birth. And he remembered that deer while he was dying, and next life he became a deer. And there is a long story behind that. We can tell that in any other time. He again became a deer, and then so he just played an example for us. He is really a great soul. Okay, he again after becoming a deer, and again in that life he remembered the Lord as a deer, and then after dying in the deer's life, he again got the birth as a human, and then he attained the Supreme Lord. Okay, in that same way, we also want to achieve something, but we get distracted for something, right? And here, the ultimate, what did he come for? And Krishna says here, this is Mithyacharya. And what did Arjuna tell? Krishna, I don't want to fight. I just want to go and sit in the forest. But Arjuna is Kshatriya, and his duty is to fight. If he does not fight and go and sit in a forest, what will he do there? He will certainly kill himself or kill animals or birds who are there, because Kshatriyas are meant to show their power and sadhus are meant to show their intellect. And Arjuna, although he is eternal, but in this material world, he has come as Kshatriya, right? And Kshatriya's work is to fight. And Arjuna is telling that I don't want to fight, I want to go and sit in the forest. So Krishna tells here, if you are not doing your prescribed duties and doing something else, then you will be called as pretenders. Today also we see many sadhus, right, who drink, smoke and do something, and still they say I am a sadhu. They are pretenders. They are mithyacharis. Okay. Yeah. There are 5 dharmas, not 5, 6 dharmas. What Bhagavad Gita is teaching us is parodharma. One is parodharma, paradharma, chaladharma, upadharma, and vidharma and dharmavas. What Bhagavad Gita is telling us is parodharma, working for the Lord. Working for the Lord. Whatever you're doing for the happiness of the Lord. Now I have so much of, I have exams, I have so much of, in my personal life, I have so much of work, but still I'm doing this Bhagavad Gita course. Why? To please the Lord, right? To make you all understand who is God. For that is parodharma. Whatever you're doing for the Lord. Then is upadharma. Next is paradharma, doing others' work. Then is vidharma, which is opposite to what Vedas and Shastras say. You're doing something, but you are doing opposite to what Vedas and Shastras are saying. Okay, there are many other, there are 6 dharmas. Okay, totally. Next is Krishna says about cycle of sacrifice here. So Lord is in the center, right? Krishna. Here is Brahma, and here is Krishna who give birth to Brahma, right? And from Krishna, Vedas have come. Vedas are not, although many of them say Vedas are written by human. No, the human who wrote Veda is not an ordinary human. He is Vyasadeva, Shri Vyasadeva, who is the incarnation of Krishna. Okay, from Vedas, there are prescribed duties which say which are said to be in Vedas, and we have to perform that. It may be practical, it may be non-practical. Okay, there are some of the duties that from duties, after making some duties, it may be on duty of wealth, or it may be duty of intellect or something, you will get some of the fruits. Okay, you will get some phala or fruit of that work. And it is recommended to give some of the money as sacrifice for the Lord. And olden days, they used to do elaborate of yajnas. Okay, and then from yajnas, you will get rain. Okay, from rain, there is grain. And then from grains, whatever you are getting, you have to offer, you will get for food, living entities. Food for the living entities. And then you offer that food to the Lord, so that you are now gratifying Lord, that, oh Lord, because of you I got Vedas and I did my prescribed duties. I give sacrifice for demigods and all you, and then I got rain in this world, and because of rain we got rains, and because of grains I am doing I'm getting something to maintain my life. And because of this, I am offering these foodstuffs for you first as a sacrifice, and then I'll eat whatever I get as a remnant from you. You're actually, this is called sacrifice, cycle of sacrifice. Krishna says it as chakram, sacrifice, cycle of sacrifice. Okay. So, but do you think in Kali Yuga you can do such kind of elaborate sacrifice? It's not possible, right? You want so much of ghee, you want so much of timber, you want so much of, money to make this elaborate sacrifices. Even though you have so much of money, you are billionaire, trillionaire, you got so much of money, you got so much of ghee, but you won't get a good priest who have a good hold on Vedas and Shastras and mantras, right? Who are there in this world who can have a good hold on mantras and Vedas? There are none. So what does Shastras refer for, especially for Kali Yuga? Okay, so Shastras refer Yagne Sankirta Prayer yajantihi sumedasa. What is very good in Kali Yuga is Sankirtana Yajna. Even this is Yajna. What we do Sankirtana. In the starting of the class, we did know Hare Krishna Mahamantra Sankirtana. That is what it is recommended for Kali Yuga. It is in Srimad Bhagavatam, 11th canto, 5th chapter, and 32nd verse. Okay. So in the beginning, it is said before doing Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Yesterday we did after the class, no? Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And before that, we just have to chant once Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadara, Shri Vasadi, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Okay. In Kali Yuga, it is preferred as Sankirtana Yajna. We cannot do elaborate yajnas in Kali Yuga. We don't get even a priest, or we don't have that much of wealth to do yajna, or we don't have that much of materials to do yajnas. Okay. Here, Yajnena Japa Yajnosmi. In yajnas, the Japa Yajna is the best. Okay. Preferred for Kali Yuga. So we will do Japa in last of this class. Please be there. Okay, 108 times. Okay. So before doing Hare Krishna Mahamantra, just chant once this Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Shri Vasadi, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. In Bhagavad Gita, 10th chapter, 25th shloka, you can see Krishna says, Japa Yajna is the best for Kali Yuga. The devotee of the Lord are released from all kinds of sin because they eat food which is offered first for sacrifice. Others who prepare food for personal sense enjoyment very eat only sin. They eat only papa. If you are not offering something for the Lord and you are taking for yourself, then it will be papa. Devotees of the Lord, they are released from all the sins, because whatever they are doing, whatever they are cooking, whatever they are preparing food for the Lord, they will first offer it to the Lord and then they will take it. Like if you are growing a seed of mango and you are getting if you are sowing a seed in the ground of mango, and after 5 years, after great hard work, you will get a tree, and after 5 years you will get some fruits of mangoes, right? And when you are taking all that with the tokri or full of fruits of mangoes, you are going home, and in middle someone met you. He's Krishna, and Krishna says, these are all mine. And you are like, no, Krishna, I made those fruits. I sowed in the ground 5 years ago, and then I went to hard work, and after 5 years I'm getting this fruit. It is mine. Why should I give you, Krishna? And Krishna says, who designed those seeds? I designed, right? In the same way, we have to offer. It's basically the sacrifices which mentioned by Krishna in this are karma kandas or sakama karma. You are giving something. There are two kinds of karma, sakama karma and nishkama karma here in this chapter. We should learn. First is sakama karma. Second one is nishkama karma. Sakama karma, what does it mean? In you have 10 mangoes, and in it one mango you are giving to the Lord. You are expecting something from back from the Lord. Oh Lord, I'm giving something to you. Please give me something. That is sakama karma. You are expecting something back from the Lord. You are performing yajnas. You are performing puja for the Lord in the temples, but you are expecting something from the Lord. Even that is good. That is called karma kanda. In Bhagavad Gita, it is called karma kanda, sakama karma. Okay, you have seen people putting that 1 rupee sikka in in temple donation box. 1 rupee coin they put, and they expect something from the Lord backside. Okay, they have 10 they have 100 rupees, but they put 10 rupees for the Lord. and expect something from the Lord backside. That is sakama karma. And another thing is nishkama karma, where you are whole, you have 10 mangoes in your thali, you are giving whole to the Lord and telling, oh Lord, thank you for giving me these things. I am not even capable to have these things because it's yours. And whatever I'm having, I'm sacrificing it to you. And whatever I will take just for the maintenance of my body, and it is just a remnant of what you will give to me. And that is how real devotees do. Pure devotees, they actually eat for the maintenance of the body. They do not eat for the sense gratification or tongue senses. Okay, that is what nishkama karma means. You are doing something for the Lord without expecting anything. You are with the pure love of Godhead. You are doing this with the pure love. This is two kinds of karma. And there is another thing which is called karma bhoga. There is no God in that. You are not giving anything to the God. There is no God. There is no supreme being in the picture itself. You are completely in sense gratification. You are eating, you are doing something work just to, you are acquiring wealth just for yourself. That is called, here he calls as papam. Krishna calls this papam. If you are not giving something back, it is papam. It is, you only incur sinful activity, sin. If you are just doing something, here actually he gives the example of food. You should offer food to the Lord. Here you can see, right? Devotees offering food to the Lord, and whatever remnant he gets, he will eat it as prasadam. Okay, we give coconuts to the temples, and they just out of compassion, Panditji just give us a little kind of prasadam to us. That is how devotees do. They give everything to the Lord. In return, they will just take whatever they want. So here, in further, it is now explained how a consciousness of a person develops, or how a consciousness of a person is. First is bodily platform. He is just, it's basically a animal kind of a platform, where there is no intellectual, there is no work of a mind. Every day doing something, smoking, drinking, and sleeping whole day, and these kind of things. That is bodily concepts. Next one, that is sensual concepts. You are using your senses for doing something. Okay, you will get, while you are using senses, you may get jealousy of others, or you may get depressed because of that. Okay, next is mental platform, where you are using the mental, reading, writing, hearings to the melodious songs or something, reading the books, any books. And then intellectual platform, you are now thinking after doing, oh, then who am I, where I have come from. Intellect, you are using your intelligence, you're thinking. And then from that, from intelligence, all of us come for this Bhagavad Gita course after thinking, oh, I should read Bhagavad Gita. There must be something answer for my questions, right? I must read. And that's how spiritual platform. You come to spiritual platform. You start reading Bhagavad Gita. You start serving the Lord, and you do some practical service for the Lord. And that's how you come from. And that's how from bodily platform to sensual, then mental, and then intellectual, and ultimately spiritual platform. So I said, no, indriyani pranayahur indriyebhya param manaha manasas tu para buddhir yo buddhe parastu saha. Indriyani paran buddhir, which means from pranamaya. This is this thing is there, no, bodily. This just is prana, or it is called as prana. From bodily concepts, even more is indriyani, senses. Even more than bodily concepts, indriyani, senses are more higher than just bodily concepts or just matter. And even more mental, the mind is more heart, or what you say, strength, has strength more than senses. And buddhi, intelligence, is more higher than your mind. And then spiritual platform is the soul. The understanding of the soul is higher than your intelligence. So working senses are superior to the dull matter. Mind is higher than senses. Intelligence is higher than the mind, and he, the soul, is even higher than the intelligence. Okay, from dull matters you will go to senses. It is more higher. And then what is more higher than senses is mind. And what is more higher than mind is intelligence. And what is more higher than intelligence is the soul, understanding of the soul. Here he says he means the soul. Here you can see, right? These are the senses. If this is a body, the part is the body, these are the senses. The horses are called as senses. And then whatever the rope, whatever the horses are tied to is mind. And who is controlling the mind? Intelligence is controlling the mind. And who is sitting in the body? Is self, soul. If you are not using your intelligence, the ropes will, the horses, the senses will take your mind everywhere it wants. Okay, the eye sees something, the mind will go there. The whole body will go there, right? If you are not controlling the ropes of this chariot, the horses will run here and there, right? In the same way, if you don't use your intelligence, what is good for you and what is bad for you, the minds will take you here, and the senses will take you here and there, and mind will become restless. Sorry. Okay, and self, it will just and in best example is animals. Animals don't have any kind of intelligence. They just have a mind and they have senses. Okay, tiger cannot say, okay, flesh is bad for me, I guess I'll eat grass. It won't say, because it is made like that. The nature had made tiger to eat only flesh. It cannot say, I don't want to eat flesh today, or I want to eat something curry made of that. It does not say, because it does not have intelligence. Only human have. Okay, and it may have intelligence, but it does not have that much kind of intelligence what human have. And if you do not use your intelligence to control your mind, the senses will run here and there, and the self, the soul, will be in trouble. It will again come to animal platform, again comes to bodily platforms. Okay, next Krishna says, be a role model. Okay, yad yad achariti shreshthas tattad evetaro dhyana sa yad pramanam kurute lokastat anuvartate. Okay, whatever action is performed by a great man, common men follow in his footsteps, and whatever standards he sets by exemplary acts, all the world pursues. Okay, here you can see, right, a mother duck is taking all the duck wherever. You have seen most of the times, wherever the mother duck goes, all the small kids of it goes behind it. In the same way, if you want to become role model of this world, you have your performance, your actions should be perfect, because your actions will be reflecting on the common men who you are following. Okay, if you are following or you have friends with low, they are fully in material conceptions, always in sense gratification, always doing something which is not good, you will also be turned up to be like them. It is said, no, we can judge a person by seeing their 5 friends, group of friends. In the same way, we can see whom they are following, which kind of people they are, by just we can see a leader, who is he, just by seeing his followers who are following them. And whatever standards he will set will be the exemplary act which whole world is pursuing. Okay, This is how Krishna tells. He leads by a role model. One. Okay, role models shape the society. They, because we can see politicians, right? Many of the politicians, they say something, but they do not act what they are saying. Or there are great leaders, there are people who say, I'll do like this, I'll do like this, but they do not follow. If you want people to follow, then whatever you are saying, whatever you have in your mental, you have to do it, and you will be the example, you will be the role model for them. Okay, Anicham Balar. So Arjuna further says that in 3.36, that Krishna, I do something which is forcing me to do. I intentionally don't do those things, which is forcing me to do. So what is that? This asks now. And Krishna says, Dume na vriyate varnir, means he says three kinds. He gives three examples how the lust is covering our intelligence, or us, the soul, how it is covering. So first he says about this, how the fire is covered by the smoke. Okay, in that way, lust is covering the soul. And then how the mirror is being covered by the dust. And then how the this thing, the baby or the fetus is covered by the embryo here, right? And in this way, he says, because this is how the lust covers us, as a fire covered by the smoke. Okay, as a mirror is covered by the dust, or as the womb of the living entity is similarly covered by different degrees of his lust. Okay, this living entity is covered by lust, and because of that, you cannot control, or he says, I am not able to control, and if something is forcing me because of that. So Krishna says it is lust. There are degrees of lust. And here we can see the summary of this chapter. Arjuna asks, should I renounce from the whole, doing work and just meditate on the Lord, going to the forest, or actions? Ekam vada, tell me any one. So Krishna says, do devotional service. Because in Kali Yuga, you cannot, sit idle. Empty mind is a devil's workshop. You will just get into sense gratification. Okay, so at least work for the Lord. At least start working, start offering something for the Lord. At least one fruit you can offer to the Lord, right? That is also devotional service. That Krishna does not say, no, you just offered me one fruit, I cannot have it. No, with a pure devotion, if you offer it to the Lord, he will accept it. Okay, he says, do action in devotional service. And next is Nishkama Karma Yoga to Jnana Yoga. From Nishkama Karma Yoga, Nityam Kuru Karma, like do Nishkama Karma Yoga, Arjuna. Everything pure devotee offers to the Lord without expecting anything. Next to Karma Kanda to Karma Yoga. From bodily concepts to Karma Yoga, from Karma Kanda, like sacrificing, like I said, no, cycle of sacrifice. You are giving something, but you want to want something in exchange from the Lord. To Karma Yoga, working in devotion. It is from 3.10 to 3.16. That circle of sacrifice, which I said, from Vedas to offering the food to the Lord. And then lead by example. He said, Yadyad Achariti Shrestha. You have to be a role model for the world, and world will follow such leader. Next is great enemy. Which is the great enemy? Lust. Lust is the great enemy of this living entity, of the soul, because it just covers, it just forces us to do something. And how can we take it? By offering something, by doing devotional service to the Lord, by doing japa yajna. Okay, this is what Krishna tells here. One second. So if there are any questions on this part of the Bhagavad Gita. Harshji, okay, Harsh Prabhu, please unmute.
Hello, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Mataji, Hare Krishna, Mataji. Please tell me about the third point again. I didn't get that up. Correct.
Of which Prabhu?
Share the last slide on the screen. Present
One
that
second, yeah.
last.
I'll just share.
It was Karam Kanda to Karam Yoga.
Yeah, Karma Kanda means you're doing something for the Lord. This one, right? You're saying Karma Kanda to Karma Yoga. Here, this thing. I'll just. Lord, he gives us Veda. Vedas are basically Karma Kandas. How you can live in this world peacefully, or it does not. Vedas does not deal with how to meet the Supreme Lord. It just tells about how to sacrifice something for the Lord, and in return you are getting something. This world is called as Durg in Shastras. Durg means jail. Okay, and we have and the Vedas are just telling us how to live peacefully in this jail. Okay, Maya is controlling this jail of this world. Everywhere there is misery or something. I have some problems. I'll go to the Vedas. I'll perform some sacrifice so that the problems must reduce in my life. Just that the Vedas just deals with those things. It does not tell about how to go back, how to cut down the cut down the cycle of birth and death. It does not tell that. Only Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, and such scriptures only tell you about. Only Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam tells you about how to reach Godhead. Vedas merely tell you about how to live in this world more peacefully by offering something to the Lord. Okay, that is Karma Kanda. I said you about Sakama Karma, right? Sakama Karma is that you're giving something for the Lord, but you are expecting something in exchange from the Lord. You're not fully giving something to the Lord. You're not sacrificing. That is also sacrifice. That is also good, because you are doing something for the Lord, right? And from that you are doing something beauty from Vedas, and then from prescribed duties, you will get something in return, right? By performing Vedas sacrifice, you will get something in return. Maybe some wealth, maybe some foodstuffs, and these things. And then from that you will do sacrifice. In olden days, kings were doing sacrifice like this, elaborate yajnas. They used to do Ashwamedha yajnas and all these kinds of yajnas. So that because they got something from return from all the devatas. They got good rain or something, they'll do yajnas to please them. And in return, you will get rain. That is scientific, okay? From yajnas, you will get rain. And from rain, you will get grain. Only from rain, you will get grain. You will get something to eat. And then from eating, now the cycle changes from Karma Kanda to Karma Yoga. How? You're preparing something from that grain, right? Rice or something, chapatis or something. Now you're offering it to the Lord. That becomes Karma Yoga. You're working in connection to the Lord. You're working something for Lord. Okay. From Karma Kanda, it is mere. Vedas mere talk about these things, how to live in this world, how to do sacrifices to reduce your difficulties. But now devotees, what they do, they just sacrifice whatever they are getting from all this grain, rain, and all this, they will just sacrifice it for the Lord. And this is called Karma Yoga, Karma Kanda, Sakama Karma to Karma Yoga, Nishkama Karma. Okay. Prabhu, did you get the answer for this? Like, did you understand?
Yes, Mataji, understood. Mataji, please tell me one more thing. As you said that we should do everything for the Lord in the service of the Supreme God.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, but
And
whatever, not everything what we are doing. Krishna does not eat what we are eating. He in the chapter 9 he just says what he wants from us. Okay. For now we can just offer something food, something sattvic ahar for the Lord. Okay. Lord does not eat tamasic ahar or rajasic ahar. He just eats sattvic ahar. Even while we are offering, we must think, what does Lord accept from us? You have a king. You love that king. You give something. You want to give something, but you can't give each and everything for that king, right? There is something standard to give. In the same way, Lord accepts, but what he accepts, there is some standard. Okay, that's how you can offer, but there is some standard in offering also. But whatever you are doing, just remember the Lord and just see what Shastras has given us, what kind of work we have to do. Krishna further deals with what kind of a work and how to work in devotion service. In the 5th chapter, he says that there is karma yoga in Krishna consciousness. Okay. Yes, any other questions, Prabhu?
yes, Mataji. Mataji, just give some details about what actually the Supreme Personality of Godhead means. Why Krishna is called Supreme Personality of Godhead?
Yeah, Krishna is called Supreme Personality of Godhead because he is the origin of all other gods. So in Shastras, he said, Ishvara Parama Krishna and Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. He said to be the supreme of all the gods. So here, he is just not God. He and Prabhupada writes Supreme Personality of Godhead just to clarify the position of Krishna. In one of the chapters we will show you Goloka chart, where Krishna resides, in what position. You can clearly understand in the Goloka chart where Krishna is and where all others are and where we are. Okay. And I said you in the second chapter, right? Yesterday's chapter, 6 opulences of the Lord and how he is from Brahman realization to Paramatma realization and ultimately Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is the ultimate. Even Paramatma is what you say, Chaturbhuja Rupa, is coming from Krishna. Okay, it is coming from Krishna. So he is the origin of even the Vishnu form of the Lord. Okay, Prabhu. That's why he is not just Godhead,
Yes,
Supreme Personality of Godhead. Is your doubt clarified, Prabhu?
Okay, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji, clarified.
Neha Mataji, can we go to bridge course or is there any question?
No more questions, Mataji, here, neither in the chat box nor any raised hands. So I think we can proceed.
I have 2 direct messages. 1 second. I want
Okay,
to
Mataji. Yes, Mataji, you have direct questions. You can.
Yeah, I wanted to ask that the words spoken by the Lord, only Arjuna could hear or Sanjaya was also hearing? Sanjaya also was hearing what Krishna was saying in the battlefield because he was given that divine eyes so that he can see it was given by the mercy of Vyasadeva, who is the incarnation of the Lord himself. Because he was a pious person, Sanjaya was a very pious person, and because of that, he was given the eyes to see Lord in the battlefield just by sitting in Dhritarashtra's room. So even he was hearing Bhagavad Gita. And in the last he says, last sloka, he says, yada yada, not yada yada, sorry. He says that the Lord, wherever the Krishna is and wherever the Partha, Arjuna is, there is Vijay. He was actually narrating the whole thing, whole Bhagavad Gita to Dhritarashtra, but Dhritarashtra, being envious of Pandavas, he could not understand anything. And he could hear, Sanjaya could hear everything and he could see. And he says, my whole bodily hairs, all the hairs in my body are standing in ecstasy by seeing Krishna. While he shows Vishwarupa to Arjuna, Sanjaya could see it. And he says, my hair is standing on the end. Oh, Krishna is looking so beautiful in that. And he was looks so ferocious, so huge. He actually sees Krishna in that. Okay. And Ajnabi, Prabhuji or Mataji, I could not, sorry.
Hare
Mataji,
Krishna.
can you please-
Harsh Prabhuji, do you have another question? You can raise it.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Yeah.
Mataji, if I'm not wrong, Shri Krishna and the Pandavas were maternal brothers.
Yeah,
If I'm
they
not
were,
wrong, correct me.
I actually don't know
Maternal.
much about Mahabharata, so forgive me.
The-
But yeah, you were asking
So,
like this, no, Prabhu.
just,
They are cousins.
yes, they were brothers by some relation. That's
Yes.
what we can say for sure. They were brothers. So how it happened that Krishna's sister Subhadra and
No, no, don't
Draupadi.
ask that question, Prabhu. I'm very bad at Mahabharata. Please, I'm sorry.
Okay, okay, Mataji,
Sorry,
no
okay?
problem. I'll let.
Okay, Prabhu. Next is Mataji. Can you please repeat the 3 times of Dharma? Dharma.
Sorry, Mataji.
Actually, here in the chat box. There
I
are
don't.
questions.
Actually, I haven't received any question, Mataji.
Yeah, it is for me direct messages because I kept for post and host, no? 3 types of dharmas. Actually, there are 6 types of dharmas, not 3 types. 3 types of karmas. Karmas are 3 types. Sakama karma, which is karma kanda, and there is karma bhoga, and then is nishkama karma is what you offer for the Lord. Okay. Dharmas are 6 kinds. First is parodharma, upadharma, paradharma, vidharma, dharmabhas, and chaladharma. I don't go deep in that because it is all in second level. When you come to second level, you will understand how it works, dharmas. So now I'll share the screen for rich course. Okay. This is the basic understanding in our daily life. How you can see my screen, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Thank you. So spiritual billionaires can know how world runs. So in previous chapter we said there are billion rupees question. Who am I, and where I've come from, and is death really an end to life? So after understanding that we are not this body, we are soul. Now we can understand how karma works. We say no, karma. You will get your karma. So what is that karma, and what are its law? Any activity, either intentional or unintentional, by any living entity is known as karma. Does karma matters? Does it have any effects? Okay. Does karma matters to you all? Yes. Yes. Okay. Let me proceed. It will take more time. Okay. Karma. So any activity, either intentional or unintentional, also by a living entity is karma. Okay, whatever action, intentional or unintentional actions, karma matters. You are what your deep driving desires in. As your desires is, so it will. It's your will, and as your will is, so your deeds. As your deed is, so your destiny. Brihad Narayana Upanishad. Okay. Uh, as your deeds are, what you are working or what you are doing, on that you will get some desire, and all the desire you will get some will. I want to do that, and because of willpower, your next deeds are done. So I am working now. I have a laptop here in my front. I am working on the laptop. I desire to see something movie. Then I am willing to see that movie, and because of that will, I am seeing that movie. Although, and because of that movie, I am not doing what I had to do before. So that is karma from one work. Because of that one work, you're desiring something further, and from that desire, you're willing to do that work, and from that will, you're doing that next work. That is how karma works. Okay, law of karma. As you sow the seed, okay, once you just get a desire, I want to do that, and from you cultivate the seed, and from that you will grow, and whatever you get is the karma phala, and from that phala you will get another seed, and that seed. This is how the karma works, and it's repeating. Okay, reincarnation is based on the law. So yesterday's class, we discussed about reincarnations, right? How soul reincarnates again in this world. It is basically by the law of karma. You are doing something in this world, and then while you die, again that karma, whatever the pending karma or whatever your desires are, is taken to your next birth. Law of karma. Some are born fabulously rich, handsome, wretchedly poor. All these are because of previous karma. Some are born with handicap, or some are born blind. Now Dhritarashtra, we can see, right? Dhritarashtra is blind. He was crying because he is blind. But what in the Shastras we can see in Mahabharata, it is there. I know what I have heard from gurus. They said that in the Shastra it is given that Dhritarashtra in his previous life, he pricked eyes of some birds. He was doing something, and because he was a king or something, he pricked these eyes, and he destroyed the eyes of that bird, and because of that he was born blind in next birth. And whatever the some are born healthy and strong, and some are born handicapped and weak. Why is so God so impartial? We think, no, why is God so impartial? Some are incidents, tragic incidents. From birth, children are dead, or some accident happens, some rape cases, or something is happening. Because of that, some unkind things are happening. So we say God is all powerful. If God is all powerful, then he must not be all merciful, as we see so much of sufferings around us. Okay. But what does scriptures say? Scriptures inform that God is supreme well-wishers and supreme powerful. What we see may not be true, because we are bound by this material world. What Shastras tell? Shastras tell that God is the supreme well-wisher and he is supreme powerful. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna in 9.20, 9 chapter 20, it was Lord Krishna personally declares, Samoha Sarva Bhutena, I am equal to all. Krishna says, I am equal to all. I am the Supreme Personality of Godhead and I am equal to all the people. Then why he is discriminating? Here is a person, he is a child eating well, but there is malnutrition or there is no food in some of the places. Why? In the law of court, some court scenes, typical traits. The judge award according to what you have done, right? Judge cannot, he is the judge. Judge actually sees how you work, what your case study. He does the case study and then he declares your punishment or you can go from here. In the same way, who is the witness for us? Some so in the judge case we have seen, right, some are hanged, some are just prisoned for life imprisonment, some are prisoned for some years, and some are just given a penalty or come in the same way, similar to judge, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is infallible supreme authority. Under the supervision of the Supreme Lord and according to the results of the work, the living entity, the soul, is given particular type of a body. Okay, I said you right, Paramatma. He is sitting in everybody's heart. He is present with Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma in everybody's heart now. Okay, and he is seeing us what we are doing. He has been seeing us from millions and millions of births in previous births, and he is even seeing now, and he is the judge. He is the one who is witnessing all our karmas. So what does Newton's third law says? Every action has an equal and opposite reactions. The Supreme Lord is seated in our everybody's heart as Paramatma or Super Soul, alongside of the soul as a witness or to activities. So Krishna as Paramatma, he is sitting in our heart. He is witnessing us. So who is witnessing our activities? Paramatma, not just this birth. He is sitting with us from many, many millions of births. Okay. Yaya vapi smaran bhavan tyajate ante kalevaram tatam evaiti konteya sat bhava sada tadbhava bhavitaha, which means whatever state of being one's remembrance when he quits his body, O son of Kunti, that state will he attain without fail. So at the time of death, whatever we are thinking, we will get that kind of a body. Here Krishna says in 8.6. So what have we studied today in this bridge course? That as a spiritual billionaire, we know that world runs by the energy of the Lord and all actions are counted as karma. Now we know why there is discrimination in this world. Some are born poor, some are born rich. Why is that? Because of karma. And in 5th chapter, we can understand that how this karma is taken to the next level, where we can all we can all come out of that cycle of papa punya or sinful activities and pious activities. How it actually works. In 5th chapter we can understand. Law of karma can make one progress in his life or next because of good actions. One, it can progress you by your good actions, sattvic actions, or that karma may degrade to animal life. Next life you may get animal life or any kind of a life where you are fully controlled by this world. Animal cannot think. Today dogs cannot think, why am I tired? Paltu dogs or domestic dogs, they cannot ask their master that why have you tied me? But if you are tied in that place, you will definitely ask, why am I tied? So animal life, it is very conditioned life. It is still conditioned life than human life. So if you are not doing good action, you are doing bad actions, you will go to animal life. In human form of life, we have got developed intelligence to discriminate and lead responsible lives. Right? We have got the intelligence to understand how we can act, how we can discriminate. Yes, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. If in case if you have any questions, you can post it in the chat box. Either you can raise your hands too. Till then, we can have bhajan, Mataji, Ashtakam.
Or we can have japa. Which one? Ashtakam or japa? What do you all say? Which one you want? Okay, Mayank Prabhu is telling, please tell us about Panchatattva. Panchatattva are the incarnations of the Lord, and we have a separate presentation on who are Panchatattva. You will get a better view on that, who is Panchatattva. For now, I can tell is they were present 500 years ago in this world, who gave Nama Sankirtana Yajna. They spread it all, the Nam Sankirtana Japa we do know in each and every corner of this country. 1 second. Let's do a small Japa. Okay. Is it okay, Mataji? Neha Mataji?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, someone saying Ashtakam, someone saying Japa. Okay. Ananya Mataji, you're there?
Yes, Mataji.
Do a small Ashtakam. Any of the Ashtakam, if you know.
Yeah, I know, Mataji. I'll do.
Yeah.
I'll do the Sri Hari Stotram today.
Yes.
Wonderful, Mataji, please.
Do you want me to share the screen with lyrics, or I can?
Sure, Mataji. Yes,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
would be.
it will be very easy.
Okay. जगज्जालपालं कचत्कण्डमालं शरच्चन्द्रपालं महादैत्यकालं नभो नीलकायं दुरा